Hello students and welcome to my channel. Today as I have already started the chapter 7 about the education policy and British rule, then here we have the last part of this discussion we can have today. So here the title, especially the subtitle of this chapter is speaking about the new initiatives in the Indian educational system. Now we have already learned that which are the areas the person called Woods Dispatch brought the different educational systems, and then what are the systems actually he imposed on the Indians. So let us revise the some of the points which is related with this chapter. Now let us see for the Indian education, the chief objectives of outline and of education policy for the India. It came with some recommendations. So let us know about these two recommendations, and they're followed by some of the improved that has taken place during the time or measures that has taken place. Okay, so number one is about the recommendation. What is speaking here? It emphasized the practical benefits of the system of European learning, and it believed that exposure to the European way of life would make Indians aware of their lifestyles. So this is the first point, the recommendations in fact he created. Second recommendation, what is saying that would discuss also believe that European learning actually would create a class of educated Indians who could be recruited as a civil servants. So today, for example, civil servants, the job which is very considered like a person who is in the high position, you know. So these are the all actually see part and parcel of this recommendations as well. Now, which are the measures actually taken for this Wood Dispatch? Here we have to look at the system. Now see, the first of all, the measurement or the measure is taken, that is a new network of educational institutions from the primary to the university level was actually established here. Second measure is taken, the medium of instruction of primary classes was actually vernacular, and for higher classes was actually English. So it is even today we can follow in that. Then third one is a teaching training or teachers training as well as like a vocational training institutions were actually set up. Okay, teachers training centers. For example, we have the DIET, and also one is a B.Ed, M.Ed, all these areas. Then the fourth measure is taken about the Department of Education was actually set up in all provinces to extend control over the matters regarding education. And then the fifth one is grants were actually given to private institutions which provided a proper standard of education. And then last one is in 1857, three new universities were actually opened, that is Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. So this is the recommendations actually passed. Okay. So let us know now what is the new initiatives in the Indian educational system. And our Indian reformers, some of them have taken the initiative to open up the new institutions. Okay, so here after 1854, what we can see, the East India Company in fact decided to take initiative to improve vernacular education. Okay, that is after 1854. Then to ensure order within the system, the company actually started what here imposing routines and establishing rules and ensuring regular inspections. It means suppose you are opening one institution, it may say you need to have the proper guidance, and whether the things are properly done or not. So that is actually very important. It matters also a lot. Today, for example, in many of the states, either it is a UP or Bihar or some other remote areas where the schools actually have been opened. But then whether teacher is going there, whether children are coming to school, whether the enrollment is done or not, or whether the proper education is imparted or not. No no any other here, but we can see inspection are seen in a different parts of the states, and as a result of that government employees, especially the government job holder, every month he's enjoying the salary, and but then education is zero. There is no education imparted, and children, of course, they are not even taking care whether the children are coming to the school, whether it may say there were may say you can see that there are a lot of inconveniences. There are a lot of people not taking initiative, but in the name of the like a salary, in the name of allowances, every bit of facilities are given to the teachers, and then this particular what called like a job is just keep on going. So that's why you can see that in government setup, many of the institutions are actually very bad infrastructure wise. Then you can see the teacher wise, and also you can see the placement, many other. And the way it is imparted in the government schools, is not really appreciable. So I feel that government schools, especially government, this is the blame should go to the government, because there is no infection, and no invigilating, and no strictness, and they are not looking for the any of the enrollment. So now recent 2 3 years we have been watching that educational minister is going to some places, and then inquiring about it, but how far it is going to work out that way. It means that those who are working under the government, they themselves are corrupted one. So that's why education systems in India is very very bad, very poor, and if this is the systems will keep on exist, I think the children will not having the future, bright future, especially in the rural areas. You won't expect that the children will be by they will become the doctor, they will become the engineer, nothing of that sort. Only the city who can afford about their education into the good schools, especially private schools. So today most of the government employees also sending their children to the private schools, because they expect that they are getting a good education in the private schools, but they themselves are working in the government schools, and how far they are working hard. So anyway, these are the actually a big actually issue which government is ignoring, and then government is not having any eyes on that. And even though there is a eye, but then thing is that those who are working under the government, especially government officials, even they are also not at all careful about it. So you also go on, I also will go on, is it not? In some schools, school inspector doesn't reach even. What we have observed in some of the schools, that halfway the inspector is going back. What the inflation is going on, God knows. So therefore, these are the actually the things they also actually expected to have. So here, a number of government pandits were actually appointed and given charge of 4 to 5 schools. Okay, and then they were actually asked to visit schools and improve the standard of teachings, and the gurus were actually asked to submit periodic reports. Then textbooks were actually introduced to expedite teaching, Then several new initiatives were actually launched, such as annual examination, fixed number of seats, and new rules of a discipline. Then students were actually asked to attend schools regularly. The inability to attend school was seen as indiscipline. So these are the few things actually they started inquiring about it, and these are the things that are happening even today, but not strict way actually things are happening. It means today the pathetic condition that we are having in the educational areas, it is because the government's employees. Perhaps the government has given the order to do that, but here those who are under the government, those officials are actually taking some kind of bribe, and halfway they are dismissing the things, cases and all. So these are the things are actually happening. It means You won't see that a school is functioning in a full swing with a lot of students in the school. And for example, you can see that there are teachers are appointed, especially recently we had the TET examination, and many of the TET examination people have passed, and after passing they got the teaching job, but they didn't have the proper training. No B.Ed, no like a diet, only this a few, you know, a kind of like an introduction. So these are the few things that is a government is taking step is a uselessly. Simply the money is wasted, and then out of that children and the people of especially rural areas gained nothing. So it's very like a, it's very painful, very painful. There were talented talented people are there who have passed their BA, MA, and B.Ed, M.Ed, everything, but they were not getting the job. But conducting the one test examination and TED examination, and then appointing as a teachers. So these are the few things that is we have got in this country are actually one way or the other just to go on the work, not reaching up to the mark. So if this is the system will go on, then perhaps we will never expect in future that we will have the better education as like Japan or USA or Germany, Poland or Russia, all these countries. Because there mostly people are actually depending on the case study, practical, and they are going to the professionals education, not going unnecessarily wasting your age. Today we are wasting our age, 10 years up to class 10 we are wasting, then again we have the 2 years of this one, again we wasting. What is use of wasting of the waste of the like age? And ultimately now you know when the age is becoming, then at that time you have to hunt for the job, and at that job hunting you will again lose your age. Here only we are losing the age. So we are not getting anything on proper time. On proper time the government is not conducting any sort of like examination, and government is conducting the test or examination also, that is also manipulating. Somewhere question leak will be there, and that one year will there for the to sort out the matter, and again something will they open up, again they will close up, again new government will come, again new policy. It means anywhere persistence is not there, anywhere the things are not functioning, and this is one of the areas the government is ignoring very often. Perhaps the today, for example, central government is focusing more on the constructing the temple and all. It means you don't need education. Today in a country we should not have the doctors, we should not have the scientists, we should not have the engineer, we should not have the areas like especially institutions like which is related with the machineries. How country will reach up to the like a summit? How country will look for the superpower country? Today, you know, one word is there uttering Vishwaguru. India is becoming Vishwaguru. It's possible, Vishwaguru. You go to the rural areas, children are all in the mud and in the pond. They are jumping and playing, and whole day they are all engaged with so many activity. Today, small kids, age of like a 7, age of like a 6, 5, they are smoking, they are taking gutka, pan, every bit of things they are doing right now. What I have observed. So this is where the India will become Vishwaguru. It means we are creating more actually gundas. We are getting more like a villains. You know those small kids who are now using up like a gutka and pan and all. Later on they will become the gundas only. Because no guidance, no schools, nothing now. So Here we have the problem, we have the issue. So anyway, here let us see education after 1858, how it has been taken shape. Now the government appointed a commission in 1882 and under W. Hunter to evaluate the educational progress achieved after the recommendations of the Woods Dispatch. Okay. Now what happened here? The Hunters Commission, that is 1882 to 1883, was appointed by Lord Ripon, and the commission's views were actually restricted to primary and secondary education, and it acknowledged that female education had largely been ignored. You must remember here, female education was largely ignored. The end of the 19th century witnessed great improvements in the secondary and higher education, and the Punjab University was actually established in 1882, followed by the Allahabad University in 1887. So these are the few educational centers actually opened, and you can see again there were many of the reformers actually came into focus in this time. And here social reformers, for example, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, then they actually strongly advocated the spirit of education to eradicate social evils. You know, in India, because of the lack of education, many people were engaged in a superstition and a false belief and a lot of discussion on the God and devils and many other issues. Very much superstitions. People today, for example, up to now, if you can observe whether the in this world, yes, at night we can see there is a movement. A different movement is taking place with the nature at night. So it doesn't mean that I will go directly and I say that there is a ghost. So there is no experiment. There is no proper clue and evidences. People are taking the video on the Facebook and so many areas. People are actually talking about the ghost and all the things they are showing. But exactly you show face to face, you must show whether it is there. It means what, you know, in the name of the like a ghost and in the name of the puja part and all these things and all, people are actually fooled. People are fooled very often. So scientific temperament is missing, and people are never ever trying to experiment. It may say the fear and things have been already invaded in the mind of the people by their own ancestors or by their own family members from the childhood onwards. Today, for example, for a child from the small time onwards, we will make them fear a god fear, a devil fear, many other things like that. We just invade them inside the mind, and as a result of that, as they grow with the fear. So that's why these are the few things which is we have not experienced, but we are imparting to the people. So that's why this evil from the social evil, in fact, also existed, and this is actually supposed to eradicate, and today also supposed to eradicate. But people, you know, even though they are doctors and engineers, or you know, studying in a high schools, means a good education taking, even they are also believing. It shows that they are growing with that particular things. That's why they can't remove from their brain, mind. Okay. So here, they supported Western education and founded the Hindu College in Calcutta, that is 1817. And then Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar also strongly supported the cause of like a women's education. Women educations were not imparted, that's why he gave the importance. Then Dayanand Saraswati founded the Arya Samaj and also set up schools which promoted Western education as well as the study of the Vedas. So they hand in hand they started. Then Theosophical Society founded by Annie Besant also set up schools for boys and girls. So ladies, people just started coming up. Then agenda for national education. Here, many Indian secular thinkers were actually highly impressed with the success of mass education in Europe. So they wanted the government to open more schools, colleges and universities. And anyway, however, They were actually some Indians who were actually against Western education. A new movement called the National Education Movement began in Rangpur, that is present day Bangladesh. Then you can see that Satish Chandra Mukherjee founded the National Council of Education at Calcutta. Then its aim was to impart education through the learner's vernacular language, and at the same time teaching English. Kasi Vidyapit and Jamia Millia Islamia were also based on the concept of national education. Then again you find Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore were against the excessive dominance of Western education too. So they came up with against this Western education. Okay. In the next video, I will talk about the about these people. Okay. So thank you.